it. I was just trying to do something, do something different. And yeah, she gave me the opportunity and I just did it. I was terrible, but as the years go by, you get better at what you do. And here I am right now.
Yes, fair enough. That's pretty cool. You would say it's fair to say that UFC has now all these great fighters now. What division do you think is the most stacked?
Wow, there's a couple of divisions that are really, really strong, but I feel like the bantamweight division is probably the most stacked in the UFC right now. And of course, the lightweight is always going to be that marquee weight for everybody. But right now, there's so many killers at bantamweight. They don't get the shine, I think, that they deserve compared to like a lightweight or a featherweight division. But if you look at it and you dissect the divisions, the bantamweight division, 135 is crazy. And especially with all the young prospects coming up at the same time, and the top 15, you put them against anybody, you put against any champion, I think they have a chance to win.
Yeah, so far this interview with JHK is going great. But first, let's go take a little bit of a break and go to commercial.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
So if you had a chance to pick like your Mount Rushmore of MMA fighters, who would be on there for the...
Man, that is such a hard question because there's so many fighters that have come throughout the years, since UFC won. So, and even before that in Japan. I think, of course, you're going to have to put Royce Gracie there because of what he accomplished at the start. He proved to everybody that jiu-jitsu was the superior martial arts. And it wasn't even really MMA back then. It was just like martial arts versus martial arts, but you got to put him in there. Another person I feel like should be there is Fedor, of just what he accomplished in his generation. And, with another promotion on the other side of the world, you can't just focus on the UFC. You got to go through many of the different promotions. I think Fedor is probably going to be there. Man, it's so hard. Anderson Silva.
Yes.
I think Anderson Silva is probably one of the guys in the mid 2000s or the mid 2010s where mid 2010s, I believe, is where everybody just started to latch on. He wasn't the best at promoting himself, but just his actions and just his highlight reel and what he accomplished in the octagon, he has to be there. I'm pretty sure everybody will want to throw in the steroid stuff and the USADA stuff, but I don't know. I just like to look at what they did in the cage. And if you look at that, Anderson Silva's probably there. How many do I got left? I got two more or one more?
You got one more. So, yeah.
I'd have to put GSP there. GSP was unstoppable. And he transformed. He was another one that transformed the UFC, but just in a different way. And it's not just, you look at the performances and the records and everything, but I think he was one of the ones that transcended the sport in many ways. One of the first ones. So you got to put him there.
Only thing I would say, mine's more money-wise. For example, like Ronda Rousey, like that, because I was surprised with Dana White when he was kind of against women fighting. and then her being dominating Bellator, and her like getting all this traction for UFC, or Conor McGregor talking about all the records he brought, like all the fights he has normally have a lot of pay-per-view buys. And I'm biased because I'm in Canada. I always had to have GSP, so I'm pretty biased when it comes to that. And then, as much as I hate to say it, I love to say John Jones, but the stuff that happened with him is, it's kind of going down, but who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, John Jones is definitely, I should probably put him in there. John Jones has done phenomenal things in this sport, and he probably will do more if he continues to fight and surpass Anderson Silva, surpass GSP, surpass Fedor. I don't think anybody's going to really surpass Royce Gracie. People don't talk about that guy enough, man, what he did for this sport.
Yes, that's definitely true. What is your opinion like on Israel Adesanya, considering that his last fight he lost, and then when he's facing against Marvin Vettori, how do you think that fight's going to go down?
First, my thoughts on Israel Adesanya. He's another one of those fighters that could transcend the sport. He's still young in the game, even though he's accomplished so much already. And we still have maybe even 10 more years of Israel Adesanya. Imagine where he can be by the end of the 10 years, He could be fighting at heavyweight. We have no idea, It could be a possible thing. But for this point right now, I think he is one of the top stars, undeniably, one of the most skilled fighters. And he's going to have those Anderson Silva moments. We just haven't seen them yet. But Marvin Vettori, he's a tough fight, though. Marvin Vettori, he did take down Israel Adesanya, and we see what happened in the last fight against Blachowicz, right? He was taken down, held down. But I think that was a different fight. That's a different Adesanya. Adesanya, he's the style bender, right? So he bends styles, and I think he's going to learn from that last fight against Blachowicz so much to where he comes in, and then a lot of people are going to expect him to get taken down by Marvin Vettori, and he probably will, and maybe he won't. I don't know.
Okay, I'd like to thank my guest, JHK, for a great interview. Now it is time for the Rod Pedersen Show. So this is Alan Lee, the intern, signing off.
No! The Stars offered me box seats, luxury box suites for Game 7? I think it was Game 6. And I said, hey, Stanley Cup could get handed out tonight. I've always wanted to be in the building when the Stanley Cup gets handed out. And she said, we came down here for George Strait. We're going to George Strait.
How about that?
So I walked out of Cowboys Stadium, and I'm like, hey, who won the Stars game? Who won the Stars game? It's Dallas in 2000. No, the who, the what? And I'm like, this wouldn't have happened in Winnipeg. They know.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. We're coming in hot to a brand new week. Good morning and good afternoon, Canada and Canadian sports fans around the world. It's funny the gents would play that clip to open the show because I was just thinking this morning there's a George Strait song for every situation.
There
you always find one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's it going, Moose?
It's going great.
You're excited, eh?
Oh, yeah.
You should be. You should be. You are coming up in the Quick Six show topics here, by the way. So
wow.
Just hang on. Hang on.
Okay.
It's a very big day today. It is the 500th episode of the Rod Pedersen Show.
How about that?
How about that? Rick Regan's been with us right from day one, the big voice guy. And, last Thursday was our 2-year birthday episode, and then today, the 500th episode. And a guy texted me, you might know him by the name of Duke Myers.
Yes.
And he said, way to go, Rod. I'm so proud of you. A lot of people didn't think you'd last 2 months, and now it's 2 years. I'm like, I'll take the compliment. I think he meant it as a compliment, right?
Do you think it wouldn't last 2 months?
Nobody likes you, but I like you, Derek. Listen, I don't care what anybody else says.
Yeah, exactly.
I like you. So here we are for the 500th episode. Quite a ride it's been, huh?
Oh, yeah. 500. And you start thinking about that. I mean, it's hard to do. and this is a little. I mean, it's a daily talk show, but when a television show of any kind can get to 100 episodes, that's a big deal. And we thought 100 was a really cool deal. 500's wild. And it's incredible. And it feels like we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't it? And we're at 500 episodes.
Big one. Kelly Mars wrote me and he says, man, the biggest thing is you look like you're having a lot of fun. I said, we are. I don't think you can fake that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you got a lot of messages coming in on the Prairie Mobile text line, and I'll get to that later. This is the warm-up for E-Cole Electric, and we got all our rowdy friends are coming over here for episode number 500 today. Gary Lawless, who was our very first ever guest 500 episodes ago, the Golden Knights insider, will be joining us from Vegas. Great day to talk to Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Arash Madani of Sportsnet, and the keeper of the cup, Phil Pritchard, who's become a good friend of ours. He's got that cup shined up and ready to go to Vegas, I think. And I got some questions for him on parties and legendary stuff. See what's going to happen with the Stanley Cup. So That's what's happening today. Let's get to the quick six show topics, please. Thank you, Director Jordan. Jordan's really got a bounce in his step today. Did you notice? I don't know what it is. If he's got a new pair of sandals or what. But I noticed, Jordan. Number one, weekend NHL leftovers. Where do we start? This is in my Monday morning goalie column today at rodpedersen.com. A lot of my thoughts are there. I got a lot. Not surprised that the Vegas Golden Knights have roared back to tie up Colorado in that round 2 series, 2-2. I watched every game all year. Vegas is at least as good as Colorado. The standing said as much. So here we are, going to Denver, 2-2, and all Mo is on the Golden Knights side. That's my take there. Can I just say, of the 8 teams left in the Stanley Cup playoffs, 3 of their coaches are Notre Dame Hounds grads: Rod Brindamore, John Cooper, and Barry Trotz. How about that?
Wow.
How about that?
And a lot happens in a week, and I'll just stop because I got a plethora of NHL thoughts coming out of the weekend. 1 week ago today, Montreal was playing Toronto in Toronto in Game 7. 1 week later, Montreal's got the Jets on the verge of a sweep. Game 4 tonight. Winnipeg's first elimination game of this spring is tonight in Montreal. A lot can happen in a week, Darren.
Something special is happening in Montreal. Something special is going on, and it's really hard to explain. But that's what makes sports so amazing. Is there's no reason for Montreal to be in this position. Probably shouldn't have got out of the first round. They shouldn't be doing what they're doing to Winnipeg. But guess what? They are. They're doing it. And that's what makes sports amazing is the Canadians are a wonderful story right now, and they're playing really good hockey.
It is a great story. From some of our viewers, from Pat Doyle. I love me some Pat Doyle. Tim Hortons guy.
Oh, yeah.
He says, congrats on the 500th episode, gents. Thank you, Pat. Can't wait to get you out on our next sports trip. Last one we did was Houston, right? And Patty was there.
Oh, yeah.
We went to the Golden Corral, and we had a big old time. From Jeff the Stamps fan, congratulations, 500 No, where is it? Jeff the Stamps fan. And we'll still all be watching when you get to show 5,000. Thank you, Jeff. We have a very special relationship, Jeff and I, as you know.
Yes.
David Asplin, congratulations on 500 episodes from Winnipeg. I wish Winnipeg would run 4 in a row, but not likely. Patiently waiting for Blue Bomber football. Lee Bishop watching in Greenfield, Indiana. Congratulations, 500 episodes and just getting warmed up. He said it, and he's right. We're just getting warmed up. A lot of exciting things to come. I think the Winnipeg Jets could win 4 in a row. Am I crazy? It starts with 1. I just think they could. You don't.
No,
I can tell by the look on your face you don't think
it's hard, really hard,
well, of course,
very difficult. But yeah, why not? They're deep. We know that they can score. They're having some trouble right now against Carey Price. And Connor Hellebuck can win you 4 in a row by himself. So you've got the goaltending. I mean, Montreal's proven that if you've got a good goaltender, you can win games. But man, it's hard to beat, what do you want to call it, fate, destiny, magic, whatever Montreal's got going on. That stuff's hard to beat, man. So can it be done? Absolutely. It's going to be really tough. But the series, I think it's still far from over. I really do.
Warm-ups brought to you by E-Cole Electric, your complete electrical distributor with locations in Regina, Estevan, Swift Current, Yorkton, and Moose Jaw. E-Cole Electric, let's get to work. Right after this little coffee break here. We got to move on. We got a lot to get to on a busy weekend, Darren. Point 2, the Titans trade for Julio Jones. Your team. Your phone's been going off. I don't really get it. It's Jones and a second for a second and a sixth.
Jones and a sixth, I believe, is coming to Tennessee. Atlanta's getting a second-round pick
And a sixth.
and a sixth.
That's not a lot for one of the best receivers in the National Football League.
Yeah, one of the best of all time, too. Second and a fourth. There, thanks, Clark. One of the best of all time. If you're going by Julio Jones, the all-time great, yeah, the Titans fleeced him. But if you're going to sit here and get the 2-year-old receiver that you're getting now, 31 or 32, maybe it's okay. Nobody was willing to give up a first-round pick, so the second-round pick became the ask. I think the Titans got a steal. Look at Julio Jones. He has more 100-yard receiving games in the past decade than the Titans do as a franchise combined. Every receiver that's been through that team
there you go.
In the last 10 years. Julio Jones has more 100-yard games. So he adds that threat, replaces Corey Davis, takes a little bit of the pressure off A.J. Brown. I think this makes them a real big threat in the AFC.
Well, Keyshawn Johnson this morning on ESPN said, do they even need him? Which tells me how good people think the Titans are.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of the great Bobby Vespasiani. He was an assistant GM here with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He was the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. And you know the line I'm going to use. Better is better. Julio Jones makes you better. Right?
Absolutely.
Regarding the Winnipeg Jets winning 4 straight and coming back, John Ohm in Winnipeg says, you're crazy, Rod. Hasn't been done since 1975. Wowzers. Yeah, I've been called crazy before. Well, if you think like that, it's not going to happen. Come on, Winnipeg. I saw Bob Irving's tweet about the Jets being a hot mess. I'm like, now is not the time to fold on the team. We went through this once already. But if you want to be like that, be like that. If you think it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen.
That's right.
I can tell you that for free. Point 3, Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul. I didn't even know about this fight until the Asian sensation Alan Lee, our intern, wrote about it for rodpedersen.com. I didn't know it was happening. Hence, I wasn't going to watch it. I'm a fool, me once kind of guy, Darren. You and I went and watched Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., and it wasn't good. We walked out of Ballers that night going, what did we just spend 3 hours on?
I know.
So I didn't watch this. Did you?
No, I went out for dinner, and I caught a little bit of the early fights, so I didn't watch it. I wasn't going to go home and pay for it, and I really didn't want to stay for 3 hours. I knew what it was going to be. It's another exhibition. I didn't stay long enough, unfortunately, to watch Ocho Cinco in one of the earlier bouts he was fighting.
I heard that.
And
you love him.
I love Ocho Cinco. He's one of my favorites. As a kid, he was a big fan. But that's the one I wanted. He got knocked down, but I think from all accounts, he did really well in the fight. There was no winner announced, and same with this, even though it looked like Mayweather just had his way with, was it Logan Paul?
Yeah, but it was ended in a tie.
Well, of course it did, because there's no referees. There's no judges.
If I'd have paid for that, I'd have been very upset.
Yeah.
I'd have put it that way. From Tacona Powley watching in Winnipeg, he says, yes, Rod, but Snoop's was worth it. Snoop Dogg made the Mike Tyson fight tolerable.
Yes.
And then he was just providing color commentary. Arlen Bruce, the third's watching. Says love conquers all. He said, it happened to me. It's professional football. He should have went to Green Bay. He's talking about Julio. Well, it's Tennessee that made the trade. And Arlen's agent emailed me on the weekend, and he said, thanks for the great show and your special relationship with Arlen Bruce. I said, it's not any overly thing. I love me some Arlen Bruce. I have since way back in the day. When he ripped out the Spider-Man mask and pulled it on after a touchdown one night, I'm like, yes, that's awesome! And they got fined for it. What the hell's wrong with professional sports anymore? It's no fun. CFL weekend leftovers. As I move on, a couple things that came out of the week. Listen, I was having supper on Saturday night, and a friend said, I was talking about our John Ryan interview last week on this show, and the friend said, John, I forgot John Ryan even played for the Rough Riders. And our friend's a Riders season ticket holder. Like, this is an out of sight, out of mind thing. So let me just say that you gotta play, but they might not play. And I said to Darren, I will defer to him on this, that I was going to tee you up. I saw the two big articles from 3downnation.com, 3dunknation.com on the weekend. One is that the CFL has told the Players Association June 14th is the latest date you'll be given final direction for this season. And I took that as is that a drop dead date for a confirmation of a season? Because if it is, that's the way I read it, Darren. And if that's the case, then that tells me that there's still some wiggle room to not have a season. And everywhere I go, if people are talking about the Rough Riders, because believe me, there are a lot, they think they're playing. They saw it on the news, as my neighbor said. And I'm like, but yeah, sure. As long as there's still a drop dead date, there's a chance that they won't. That's how I read that article. How did you read it?
Yeah, there is a chance for sure. I read it as that's when they're going to find out if they're going to camp, in the middle of July, if they're going to start on August 5th. They're going to get that information. So an August 5th date, nothing's going to happen after June 14th. So you'll know about August 5th. But when we got the information from the players, when we talk about timelines and walking it back, I still think we need at least 6 weeks of notice. So from the 14th of June, camps can't open for 6 weeks after that. Maybe they'll open on the 10th and they'll rush the players in, which wouldn't surprise me. But if camps aren't going to open for 6 weeks after that, and then you need 2 weeks of camp and then the season, you can start looking at the date. Won't be August 5th. Might be closer to Labor Day. That's what we might hear on June 14th, but there is absolutely a chance that the season still might not happen.
Pause. Arlen Bruce III watching from America. He says, fined $4,000 for the Spider-Man mask. Who was the commissioner then? Was it Tom Wright? Make me the commissioner, because I would have strippers and midgets and unicorns and at every game.
How about that?
Make it about the entertainment. You got to find the guy $4,000 because he pulled out a Spider-Man mask out of his tights after the game or after a touchdown. And how is that a problem?
It's not.
It's not at
Again,
all.
I'm a Chad,
they should have given him $4,000.
I'm a Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco fan. He did a proposal to a cheerleader on the sideline. He pulled out the orange cone and pretended to putt like Tiger Woods. He did everything, right? He put on the Hall of Fame jacket when he was still playing. I mean, he was the king of it. So when Arlen did that, I'm all about that. It's entertainment, and it's not hurting anybody. It's not offensive to anybody.
Arlen says he's currently living in Vancouver. Gotcha. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Bo was in the locker room last week and says the practice jerseys are hung and the nameplates are up. What does that remind me of? My mom setting the supper table for all the farmhands, even though supper wasn't ready yet. It just distracted them to think supper was on his way, which inevitably it was. But listen, I don't. What I say, I'm a fool me once guy. Not going to fool me twice. There's a lot of hurdles left to go. And then the last thing, because we're running out of time here, was the report that CFL players are going to be housebound. That's the term. That was from Farhan. And incidentally, none of this is the CFL's fault. We're seeing what's going on in America rocking. They're rolling. And up here, not. This is not the CFL's fault. And I guess Farhan said it. You're going to ask an American player that's been living wide open in Texas for 6 months to come up here and be housebound in Canada for how long? 3 months? It seems nearly impossible. You brought up the WHL players. They were going stir crazy in there for 2 months.
2 months. They were going crazy and ready to get out. And it's really, really tough. And now you're talking about doing this to, grown men who have families. They're not only just missing them, but we're talking about a CFL season, and you're going to take a pay cut to do this too? And be stuck like that? It probably isn't going to go over that well. And then you'll see photos and pictures of people at the beach and different places and filling the Costco shopping centers and everything else. And I'm stuck in my house and I can't leave. It's not going to fly.
It's getting bad.
It's getting bad. And I don't think it'll go over that well. I really don't. But maybe we'll be in a different position by then and they won't need to go that way.
Jeff Kibilis in Winnipeg says that list of entertainment sounds like a Gleiberman's proposition. Well, thank you. Lonnie Gleiberman and I are very close friends. We come from the same school. We're gonna break here. Habs for Life watching in Vancouver says, I feel unpatriotic for not watching the gold medal game. LOL. Don't. I'm trying to exercise moderation with my hockey watching. I didn't watch a shift of the Hockey Canada World Championships. I knew two guys on the team. Mangiapane seemed to be the only, and I don't know him, he seemed to be the only guy doing anything was Mangiapane, and then Braden Schneider of the Wheat Kings, because the Wheaties were posting all kinds of stuff. Was Connor Bedard playing? No, not interested. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't, and I hate to admit it because I love watching Canada play at any event, but it just didn't do it for me, unfortunately, and that's too bad because I've been consumed with the NHL playoffs and the World Championships for the most part don't get me there. Connor Brown, by all accounts, he played really well. Andrew Mangiapane, and to win it in overtime, is amazing.
That's exciting
For Canada.
The highlights did it enough for me.
Amazing.
Great goal in overtime. Way to go, guys. And Terry Carrier watching says, I love the CFL, but I just glaze over right now for CFL season talk. How about them Habs? I had a friend, I was talking to him in the States the other day, and he was like, I want to blow my brains out with this CFL stuff. Like, enough, I'm done. So we're going to talk about who is playing. You good?
Good.
Point 5 was the Jays drop a weekend series to Houston. They're 6 games out as we enter a brand new week. I don't think anybody's catching Tampa. And I left number 6 blank. And the rock star of the day Friday was John Frenzy, just so you know. The keeper of the cup, Phil Pritchard, joins us from the Hockey Hall of Fame next. You're watching the RP Show. This has been the warm-up for Ecol Electric. And you're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full-Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Well, when I first started playing, the scholarship was so important to me. I was working 2 jobs. I was working at a gas station, and I used to actually line the field for the team to get paid just to make some extra money.
I think for me, the opportunities that the scholarships provide is very important, or very specifically the stress it alleviates for myself.
The Rams give me the opportunity to buy everything that I need to get the best grades that I can, and that'll lead to me getting hopefully the best job that I can in the future.
There wasn't a scholarship opportunity with the Rams. I know that life would have been a lot more difficult for myself. I'm not too sure exactly how much longer I would have been able to play beyond my first year.
With the opportunity that they provided for me to go through school with the financial support and with the opportunity to continue to play football, now that I look back on it, was the most important thing in my life.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Welcome back, everybody. The RP Show continues coast to coast on Game Plus television across all 10 provinces and 31 states, plus live on YouTube and Facebook. Stanley Cup playoff games tonight. There are two. Islanders at the Bruins. That series is 2-2. And the Habs look to sweep out Winnipeg 3-0. The Habs lead the series. Let's go to Southern Ontario now. Our good friend Phil Pritchard joining us from the Hockey Hall of Fame, the keeper of the cup on a very special day, 500th episode. How you doing, Phil?
Rod, I'm doing great, and congratulations on the 500th episode. That's great.
Thank you, buddy. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you helping us out so much along the way. I understand that you have Stanley with you, and I'm just wondering if you have your plane tickets booked for Vegas to hand it out to the Golden Knights, or what's happening there with you and Stanley?
All right, well, that's a two-part question. On one part, I will. I have Stanley here. So
how about that?
You know, hasn't really traveled a lot in Ontario. We've been in quarantine, so the cup has kind of stayed in my house, actually, because I traveled back from the States and had to come home. Second part, I don't have a ticket booked to Vegas yet. We're still waiting to see what happens, but who knows? They're playing great, and with all the clubs that are playing right now, they're all very worthy, and we'll see what happens.
Yes. Hey, let me ask you this. What's been your favorite series so far? Through all the round ones and then round two, what has had your attention the most?
Well, you know what? I mean, Rod, obviously we're Canadians, and we focused a lot on the Scotia division and watched the Canadian teams play all year, and it was great. But now you begin to watch these American teams play, and wow, they're big, they're fast, they're precise. I've loved watching the Colorado-Vegas series. It's so even right now. And I love the Tampa, Florida in the first round, a battle of the state of Florida. And Tampa has come out on top, and now trying in Carolina. I think we've got some great hockey, but you know what? We're not even halfway done the playoffs yet, so there's lots more to come.
Isn't that something? Well, they always say round one's the best, and it probably is, but I'm with you on the Colorado-Vegas thing. Clearly, I'm a Golden Knights fan. I thought they'd be defensive, mucky games because that's what they were between the two in the regular season. Phil, they have opened it up, man. They've taken the governors off. That is some wild hockey going on down there.
It is, and you know what? I mean, not enough attention has been given to Grubauer or Fleury, I think. I mean, those guys have been playing their hearts out. And goalies are always a huge part of playoffs. You look in the North Division, Price and Hellebuck are playing unbelievable as well. And every team left, they got great goaltending right now. But as you said, you gotta really pour on the offense of that, and that's what Colorado and Vegas are doing. It's every game, it's a different day, and there's tons going on in each end of the ice.
I will get to the viewer comments in a moment. There's some very interesting ones here. Arlen Bruce. Yeah, well, they're all... Well, listen, why not? Arlen Bruce, CFL great, bound for the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, I think he writes in. He says, you can feel the energy just looking at the Stanley Cup. It's the most iconic trophy, Phil. You and I have touched about that. The Hockey Club podcast, watching in Tallahassee, Florida. I drove in a car to Pittsburgh Airport from Wheeling, riding in the back seat, using the cup as an armrest. Amazing memory, says the Hockey Club. But speaking of Vegas, Phil, were you there with Ovi? And if so, what can you tell about the Ovechkin run with the Stanley Cup?
You know what? That was unbelievable. First of all, for Vegas to getting all the way to the Stanley Cup final in their inaugural year, and unbelievable team the Knights had that they put together. They ran into a hot Washington team, and it gets won in Vegas. And we all saw the emotion that Alex had on the ice, and it was unbelievable. And it carried on into the dressing room and then to the hotel party. And I think it might have been 11:30. The hotel party had the family and friends and that, and Alex wanted to take it to a local club over by MGM. So we all got in the bus, all the players, myself, Craig Campbell, the other Hall of Fame rep, and we went down Vegas Boulevard. About halfway down the strip, as anyone knows that's been to Vegas, you can never move on that road. So Alex had the great idea, let's get out of the bus and we'll just walk down the middle of Las Vegas Boulevard and on to the MGM Grand. So if you were there that night, you saw the entire Washington Capitals team with Alex holding the cup over his head, walk right through MGM Grand, through all the areas and right into the club. And you know what? We were talking to Alex afterwards and saying, Alex, you usually don't go out in visitors' teams' cities after you won. It's a bit disrespectful. And he explained to me, and it was really well thought out. He said, Vegas is a town for everybody. There's people from all over the world. And I know there was people from Washington there that night, and there was people from my hometown in Russia. So Vegas is a city for everybody. So made a lot of sense. We had a lot of fun. And hey, early the next morning, we were on a plane back to Washington, and the festivities began there as well.
Amazing story. I'm glad I asked. And interesting that Craig Campbell's never brought that story up to me. He doesn't tell me the party stories. But, Phil, you would know Bob Morreale, Mike's dad.
Yeah.
Right? And so he's has been the keeper of the Grey Cup. And I remember when we got our ring ceremony with the Grey Cup, we went to a club. Same thing. And Bob was watching the Grey Cup like you would watch your kid in a swimming pool. Did I ever tell you that? Like you just, is it exhausting in a way? Not taking your eyes off it?
You know what? I don't know if exhausting is the right word. I think emotional is the right word because you get taken in with all the emotions that are going on, all the excitement, not only from the players and the team, but the fans and their family and that. And it's I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy every moment of going out with a cup because it's amazing. The things that it's so powerful. And as you said, it's the best trophy in sport. It's 3 feet high. 36 pounds, but if it could talk, well, let's face it, you wouldn't be talking to me on the 500th episode. You'd be talking to the cup.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll take you, Phil. And you said also he's the best roommate, right? What'd you say? He never talks back? Doesn't hog the shower?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, you know what? My wife's not listening here, but it's the only place I ever get an argument, and I win the argument, so it's good.
There you go. How about that? There you go. John is watching in Winnipeg. John Omi says, Phil, what's the most unusual thing or unique name engraved on the cup?
Unique name? Wow. That's a good one. I actually, you know what? We started looking through guys' names way back, and in the 30s, Stafford Smythe, who ultimately became a big part of the Maple Leafs, was the mascot back in 1932. He was 7 years old at the time, and he got his name on the cup. You imagine being 7 years old, going to grade 2, and you tell the teacher that your name is engraved on the Stanley Cup. I think that's pretty neat for Stafford. Obviously, he went on to bigger and better things, but to me, that's a story that doesn't get told a lot.
Yeah, I did not know that. And actually, I know with the Grey Cup, there's some interesting names on there, but that's just zany CFL history, right? It's like the same owner's kid or trainer's brother or whatever. But what about the deal with the rings, man? Like, obviously, where are you at with that? Like, with the lengthening the cup? I never quite got the full story on that.
Let's see if we can see this. So I'm going to do some altering here, but...
Yeah.
Can you see that okay? How's that looking there?
That's perfect. That's good.
So we have 5 rings on here, and the bottom ring has 3 teams on it so far, Tampa being the most recent. So it's got 10 teams to go because every ring has 13 rings on, or 13 teams on it. And once that gets full, this ring here, we will remove, and that'll go into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Then we'll slide the others up, so all the rings will come up one. We'll add a new ring to the bottom. So the cup's going to evolve. It's going to change, but it's going to remain the same. And as Brian Trottier, a good old Saskatchewan boy, once said, it's the perfect height to hold over your head. And, you know, I think when you've won the cup 7 times, you got to listen to people like that. And what Brian said, it was very simple, but it made a lot of sense. And that's what we try and go by. We keep it this same look and style, but it evolves.
6 Stanley Cups for Brian, the pride of Val Marie, Saskatchewan. Absolutely love that guy. I've asked
one as assistant coach too.
Yeah, that's right. Well, with Pittsburgh. Yeah, with Pittsburgh. Yeah,
with Colorado.
Oh, with Colorado. Yeah, and playing with Pittsburgh. Sorry. From a Penguins fan, Rachel, our intern, says, and I've asked you this before, Phil, but she hasn't seen it. She says, what's your favorite day with Stanley that you've ever been part of, like an individual player's day? And if you recall, you told me that it was in Germany, I believe, but you go ahead with Grubauer. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel, a great question. I'm going to break it down into two things. Each year when Craig and I walk out on the red carpet, to me, that's a really special day because it's a new chapter in the life of the Stanley Cup. So that every year that happens. But a special day, I mean, I know, and we just talked about Philip Grubauer earlier playing with Colorado now, but when he won in Washington and we took it back to the Bavarian Mountains in just outside of Munich in Germany, it was pretty special. We mountain climbed up to the top of the Bavarian Mountain, the tallest one in Germany, overlooking Austria, and standing there with the Stanley Cup on the Bavarian Mountains with a Stanley Cup champion from Germany, you think, wow, has this game ever evolved? And Canada's gift to the world is pretty amazing because every country in the world wants to play hockey now, and ultimately they want to win the Stanley Cup and bring it home. And Grubauer got to do that, and we went mountain climbing.
And didn't you say a cow came down and drank out of the cup?
Yeah, a cow. It was funny. On our way back, this herd of cows came over, and I don't know if it was the silver from the cup rod that attracted the cow, but they came over, and one cow stuck his head right in there and started licking. I guess it must like Bavarian beer too.
Yeah, no kidding. Two last questions. Ryan's watching in Saratoga, New York. He says, question for Phil, what happened with the Dallas Stars and the dent in the Stanley Cup, or is that a story on a need-to-know basis?
You know what? I mean, when you think when Dallas won, that was 22 years ago now, so boy, has time ever flown. That summer was pretty unbelievable. Those guys, probably one of the craziest times there was. It was well before social media. Sorry, my dog's barking here. It's chasing after something.
You're good.
Well before social media, but the guys hung around with Harley guys and that, and in Dallas, you know, anything goes in Dallas. So we were at Harley Davidson biker bars and all over the place with it. And we had a lot of fun. I mean, the night before the parade, we were at this party in a house, and it was an indoor in-ground pool. And the cup actually got passed down one level and ended up into the pool. No fault of anybody's. But Pantera was the house we were at, the great rock band Pantera. And they were huge hockey fans as well. But as I mentioned, when you're in Dallas, anything seems to happen. And it certainly did that summer.
Yeah, sounds like Ludwig was in charge of your itinerary there. Am I right?
Wow. Craig was the ringleader then, and he still is now. If you go to Dallas and you don't phone him, he'll be pretty upset.
Hey, lastly, Phil, you waiting to hand out the Stanley Cup is a lot better this year than last because we talked to you in your hotel room. Was it horrible? Was it horrible in the bubble? Because I'm hearing from more and more guys, it's not a holiday.
Well, yeah, no, it wasn't a holiday at all, and I'd probably never be on my top 10 vacation list to hang out in an Edmonton hotel. But you know, you got to give credit to where it's due, and the NHL did an unbelievable job. And I mean, for the Lightning and Dallas Stars to be 65 days in the bubble and make it work, it was amazing. But as we sat in that hotel that day when we were speaking, I mean, the same process happened. Obviously, there was new rules and regulations, and we had to wear a mask and that. I think the most unique part of that is when we walked out on the ice and all you could hear was the sounds of the blades on the ice rocking back and forth. There was no sound at all. The guys were so excited but so nervous, and obviously there was no fans, so you could hear all the players just rocking back and the sound of the blades digging into the ice. It was really special. And then obviously once Commissioner Bettman started, they started talking and everything, but that whole walkout was very surreal. But I'm glad they pulled it off, and this year is going to be a bit different. I don't know how it's going to work totally yet because we're still working out the rules and regulations, but we're getting there. There's light at the end of the tunnel, Rod, and I think we know how long the tunnel is now, so it's all good.
No kidding. It's very, very, very special. It was cool watching you guys walk out, but it looks like that'll be an experience you won't have to endure again. Phil, the stories are always awesome, my man. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs, and I look forward to when we do it again soon.
Perfect. And once again, congratulations on the 500. Maybe we can do the 1,000 or the 5,000. Who knows?
That would be great. Absolutely. From your place. All right. Thanks, Phil.
Yes. Take care, guys.
Phil
Thank
Pritchard
you.
from
Thank
the
God.
Hockey Hall of Fame, the keeper of the cup, joining us with some Stanley Cup stories. We'll be right back with a sports update. More with Moose, Gary Lawless, and Arash Madani on the way. It is the 500th episode of the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds full-service car wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
At Capital Ford Lincoln, we don't just sell vehicles, we buy them too. You know how we always have such a big inventory with an amazing selection? That's because we buy all makes, all models, and all years. We're going to give you the best price every time. And you don't even have to buy from us. All you have to do is visit us online or in-store, answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll get you a great offer. We'll even cut you a check on the same day. So save yourself the hassles of selling privately and sell it to us. Because at Capital Ford Lincoln, we'll buy it.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Stars, you're dispatched to a scene call. Patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept the mission.
This is why I'm all in.
Mission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Every ticket is your chance to win over $4.2 million in prizes. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody, to the RP Show. It is episode number 500. And just before we get into the sports update, our good friend Stephen Jacobson, watching from Crosby, North Dakota. Late to log in. Would have been great for the 500th show to originate from Daytona. Daytona 500. Congratulations.
I dropped the ball, okay?
Well, the border's still closed, last I recall.
That's right.
Darren was talking about some special on-location episodes. Adam Schultz says, Brian Snow, hope things are going better today. Praying for you, man. Our Carolina NFL correspondent Brian Snow having some health issues here coming out of the weekend. I actually just sent him a note. So, Snowman, we're with you, man. Let us know what we can do for you. Sports update, Jonathan Marchessault recorded his 4th career hat trick to lead the Vegas Golden Knights to a 5-1 victory over the Colorado Avalanche. That series is now 2-2. Game was played in front of 18,081 people, the largest crowd to attend an NHL game this season. Only 4 teams have battled back from a 3-0 deficit to win a playoff series in NHL history. That's the challenge facing the Winnipeg Jets after they dropped Game 3 to the Canadiens 5-1 last night. Game 4 is tonight. If I may, the challenge is to not win 4. The challenge is to win 1. How do people not get this, Moose?
That's right. Win 1, then win 1 more, right?
Yeah, when people... Now I get why the media is so... Well, the coaches get so mad at the media because they don't get the mentality of what you need to win.
Cliches are cliches for a reason, right?
Yeah.
The reason, and you don't want to, I hate using cliches, even though we use them often, but it's just the cliche. How do you eat an apple, right? One bite at a time.
And an elephant, too. Alex Bocage scored in double overtime. Nicholas Hurtubise made 48 saves, and the Victoriaville Tigres won the Quebec Major Junior League Championship with a 3-2 win over the Val d'Or-Ferrer on the weekend. The Tigres won the best-of-7 series 4-2 to earn their 2nd President's Cup. Victoriaville hadn't advanced to the Q final since winning its first title in 2002. So they got it. They got it done, Moose, and kudos to the Q for doing that. I don't really know how they did it.
I know.
They had some bubbles, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of stress there. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers announced today the club has signed free agent defensive end Jonathan Kongbo to a 1-year contract. He was originally selected 5th overall by Winnipeg in the 2019 CFL draft. He went on to play 12 games during that Grey Cup winning season, recording 12 tackles and 1 sack. That from our Bomber friends this morning. It was a wild finish in the Bronx between the AL East rival Red Sox and Yankees. Xander Bogaerts hit a 2-run single with 2 outs in the 10th to lead Boston over New York 6-5. The Red Sox swept a 3-game series at Yankee Stadium for the first time since 2011. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. outclassed YouTube personality Logan Paul, but couldn't stop him inside the distance. Mayweather and Paul boxed an 8-round exhibition in Miami. With a bout not being scored, no winner was declared. Post-fight punch stats showed the 44-year-old Mayweather comfortably ahead on total and power shots. This sports update for the Tap Brew House and drive-through liquor store. They're rocking, by the way. We were there Friday for lunch, and they said it's been rocking. So it's good.
That's really good. Yeah, packed in there, which you love to see, especially for our sponsors. So it's good. We know that we got a great relationship with those guys, so that's always great.
And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. I will slip this in. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, Nelson Hakowicz, has said Peyton Krebs has won the Bobby Clark Trophy as WHL top scorer. I've got that coming up in our next sports update, Nelson, next hour. I couldn't decide, so I went with the Blue Bomber news from today and not the Peyton Krebs news. But I've been doing a lot of talking here. What do you got on your mind today? I mean, I got more, but no, I don't want to hog it all.
Keep rolling. It's great. I mean, there's just so much going on. I've been thinking a lot about that June 14th news date in the Canadian Football League and, you know, what that's really going to mean. What are the players expecting to hear on that day? That's interesting to me. And my mind's been very cloudy with Julio Jones stuff over the weekend, you know.
You're excited, aren't you?
Of course. Why not, right? It doesn't happen that often. But to temper the expectations, I do remember for a short period of time, the Titans did have Randy Moss on their roster, and that did nothing for them. It was the end of his career, too. So I'm trying to keep a realistic viewpoint on this, that it doesn't mean that we're winning Super Bowls necessarily, but it is a big ad.
Better's better.
Better's better.
Monty Klassen's watching in Saskatoon. He says, "Can I have your job?" You absolutely can. Anybody who wants it can have it. And I'll come in to clean up the mess. You know, it's funny. You saw that I put a photo on my Twitter story from Deer Valley yesterday.
Yes.
Golf and Estates. And somebody wrote me and said, the life of a sportscaster. I'm like, should I feel guilty? It's great. We've got no stress.
Wait, doesn't everybody get to golf on the weekend?
Yeah, it's amazing. What can I say? Can we go to a break right now? By looking at the clock, let's go to a break because I want to talk about something when we come back. There was some people making noise about Vegas playing to a full house the last last two games, and called the Golden Knights irresponsible. And I want to address that when we come back, okay? So we'll be right back for Viewer Takeover. On the way, Gary Lawless of those Golden Knights and Sportsnet's Arash Madani. You are watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, the University of Regina Rams are hosting their annual 50-50, and it's online and open to all of Saskatchewan, 19 and over. And stick with me for a second here. To enter the draw, all you have to do is go to reginarams5050.com. The draw date is June 18th, and the jackpot is already over $18,000. The Rams bucket adorns our desk every day. Can you think about this for a second? You 300,000 plus people that go to Rider games every year and buy your 50-50 tickets there. As we sit here today, there's no Rider games, okay? And the Rams are going to play this fall. There's no 50-50 at the Rider games. So the money that you were going to spend at those games, can you spend it here? At Regina Rams, 5050.com. That would help them out immensely. There's a different twist, Darren, on just a little commercial read. You know what I'm saying?
No, I like it.
Because I don't like to pay for all these subscriptions now for The Athletic and Netflix and this and that. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. You had subscriptions when you were a kid to Sports Illustrated and Mad Magazine and this. It's the same, right? Yeah. But you don't think of it that way until you think of it that way.
That's right.
So I'm saying, can you please support the U of R Rams? Because you were going to do it anyways if you were going to the games. From our text line, from Brady for Prairie Mobile. Hey, Rod, how about them Habs? Woo! One win away from bringing out the brooms. Vegas has now made it a series, 2-2. I feel bad for anyone who paid to watch that Logan Paul versus Mayweather fight. Heard it was a hug fest. The poll question today was, did you watch the Mayweather-Logan Paul fight? And I put a third option in there. Yes, no, or the what? Clark only put two options up. What is it, 94%?
Yeah.
Said not a chance. I didn't watch it. No. I didn't even know what was going on until I read the article from the Asian sensation, Alan, the intern here. Did a great job on the article. Didn't make me want to watch the fight, though. Sorry, Al.
Well, Alan doesn't like him. He doesn't like those fights. And I think, he thinks it's dumb. He wants to see real boxing.
Okay, but here is a lesson, not in haterism, Alan, but you wrote about it, so I then knew about it. Even if you hated the idea. Think about it.
Yes.
So maybe not talk about the things that you don't like, and that will have more impact. It's like the haters that we have. They just can't leave us alone. Stop watching. Turn us off, but you can't.
How about that?
How about that? Hi, Roddy. John, the Habs fan here. I'm sorry, my friend, but the Jets are done. The Habs will sweep them tonight. I'm going to get ahead of myself, but if they win the conference final, they will win the Stanley Cup. Congratulations on the 500th show, my friend. That's from John, the Habs fan. So I got a note from one of our sponsors, George, down at the Four Seasons.
Yes.
The Greek Freak. He's changed his allegiances, I think, permanently from the Maple Leafs to the Seattle Kraken. He's officially done. But now he's kind of crying in his Diet Coke over Habs fans. He's like, they're so annoying. They're talking about 1993. Proof positive right there, John. But you said it. All fan bases are annoying.
They're all annoying. They're all annoying.
I love it.
They're all
annoying. Find me one that's not. Dallas Cowboys.
Arizona. Because there is no fan base.
Coyotes?
The Coyotes?
Yeah.
But there is a fan base, absolutely. But they're all annoying. They all have their thing, and we talked about this a little bit, and I won't go into all of them, but Leafs fans think, well, everybody wants to play in Toronto. This guy, of course he's coming to Toronto. We're going to get him. And Oiler fans cry because they think McDavid should be drawing a lot more penalties.
Right.
Everybody's, hauling down McDavid way too much. And Vancouver fans are annoying because they don't want anybody else to cheer for them. This is our team. You're not allowed to cheer for our team. They don't want anybody else, unless you're from Vancouver, to cheer for the Canucks. So every fan base is like that.
Bob from Grand Prairie. Gold. Well done, Team Canada. Ken in Saskatoon, congratulations on 500 episodes, Rod, Darren, and crew. We are all enlightened and entertained. You make us feel something every episode. Ken from Saskatoon, whose life partner is a nurse. And I think I've angered him a little bit with my comments on coronavirus and COVID controls. And I understand we only have a minute left here, so shucky darns. I won't have a lot of time to go into this Vegas thing, but it was a female national reporter who said the Vegas Golden Knights were being irresponsible for filling their arena the last two games. And my initial thought on that was two things. One, they're over it. They're over COVID, okay? Number two, it's really none of your business what they do in Las Vegas. I don't think they were ignoring any health measures. Clearly, they wouldn't have done it if it was dangerous.
What's the difference?
Why are we still on this? We're in Canada doing our thing. You're in Canada doing your thing. Let them do their thing, okay? They've moved on. Gary Lawless from the Golden Knights next hour, and Sportsnet's Arash Madani 2 coming up on hour 2 here on Game Plus.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Well, when I first started playing, the scholarship was so important to me. I was working 2 jobs. I was working at a gas station, and I used to actually line the field for the team to get paid just to make some extra money.
I think for me, the opportunities that the scholarships provide is very important, or very specifically the stress it alleviates for myself.
The Rams give me the opportunity to buy everything that I need to get the best grades that I can, and that'll lead to me getting hopefully the best job that I can in the future.
There wasn't a scholarship opportunity with the Rams. I know that life would have been a lot more difficult for myself. I'm not too sure exactly how much longer I would have been able to play beyond my first year.
With the opportunity that they provided for me to go through school with the financial support and with the opportunity to continue to play football, now that I look back on it, was the most important thing in my life.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact
No! The Stars offered me box seats, luxury box suites for Game 7? I think it was Game 6. And I said, hey, Stanley Cup could get handed out tonight. I've always wanted to be in the building when the Stanley Cup gets handed out. And she said, we came down here for George Strait. We're going to George Strait.
How about that?
So I walked out of Cowboys Stadium, and I'm like, hey, who won the Stars game? Who won the Stars game? It's Dallas in 2000. No, the who, the what? And I'm like, this wouldn't have happened in Winnipeg. They know.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. I was very upset that June night in Dallas, Texas, when I couldn't find out the score of the Stanley Cup Game 6. Oh, true story. And as I was saying earlier, as we went to air an hour ago, that there is a George Strait song for everything.
Yeah.
Although I'm on a bit of a Travis Tritt kick right now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the second half kickoff here, brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the Stanley Cup playoffs. And in moments, we'll be joined by Gary Lawless, the Vegas Golden Knights insider, who I'm sure is a little more chipper these days. The Golden Knights have come back and tied their second-round series 2-2 against the Colorado Avalanche. We got a lot of topics on the table today. As you know, we're the Golden Corral of sports talk, a little something for everybody. And we were talking about the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight last night, and CDX Time is a viewer watching on YouTube, says it was a bad fight. Logan Paul just tried to survive so he can now brag he made it the distance with Mayweather. Now he's going to book more fights. I wasn't getting sucked into that. If you weren't watching it earlier, we went to Ballers and watched the Roy Jones Jr. Mike Tyson fight, and it was just bad. B-A-D. And I guess we're not necessarily boxing guys. I was expecting somebody to get knocked out, especially if Mike Tyson's fighting.
Yeah.
And it was just so disappointing. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. And they kind of run that risk of ruining it. Who's going to watch it now after what happened last night?
Oh, I know. It's really tough. And, there's some intrigue here because here's this guy who's a little bit bigger than Floyd, and you think, is he actually going to take a loss here? Could he actually take a loss? And actually, the only way you'd know is if he got knocked out, right? It's the only way you'd know if he actually lost the fight or not because they don't have any judges. But, yeah, it was not good, I guess, and I'm glad I didn't spend the money.
Not to mention, the Golden Knights were beating Colorado at the exact same time. Like, I'm going to pay to watch this crap.
Right.
Sportsnet's Arash Madani coming up this hour on our 500th episode. Our very first ever guest was Gary Lawless here on the RP Show. He's a good and long-time friend. He's a great guy. And he joins us from Las Vegas right now in the midst of this tremendous series. Actually, it looks like his home, Summerlin, Nevada. Happy Monday, Gary.
Hey, Rod. How's it going, guys? How's it going this morning?
It's going great. And I'm proud of the fact that I had no doubt that the Vegas Golden Knights were going to come back in this series. And boy, have they, Gary. How much have you enjoyed this affair in round two?
It's been an excellent series. It was interesting, that we traveled to Denver for game one. Game 7 against Minnesota was Friday night. And then Saturday, the team traveled to Denver and then played Sunday. And Pete DeBoer made, I thought, one of the best coaching decisions so far in this series to rest Marc-Andre Fleury and to go with Robin Leonard. He could have played Marc-Andre Fleury and, maybe the game would have been 4-1 or 5-1, whatever. It was still going to be a loss. The goalie didn't lose that game. The game was lost because Vegas' skaters did not have the energy to commit to playing the way they have to play to beat Colorado. And Colorado is really, really an excellent team with high talent throughout its roster, and they can really skate. You have to check them all over the ice. You can't give them, you have to smother them. And it takes a ton of energy to do that. And the Golden Knights just didn't have that in game 1. But they've had it in game 2, 3, and 4. And we'll see what it's like in 5. They could have won game 2. They had their opportunities in that third period to put that game away, and they couldn't. They got burned by a bad call in overtime, but that's, if you don't put it away and you let things linger, bad things happen, whether it was a mistake from one of their players and a breakaway for the Avalanche or whatever it was. That opportunity was for failure was there because Vegas didn't close it in the third period. But none of that in games 3 and 4. They were able to get the job done in regulation and now go back to Denver at 2-2. It was interesting. Before game 1, the Avalanche ran a pregame show in arena, and so it was all of their broadcasters. Their radio broadcasters, their TV broadcasters, it was a really slick show, actually, very polished and excellent. But they gave the Golden Knights absolutely no chance in this series. They, just believed that this was going to be an onslaught, and it was in game 1. And then they came back for that same pregame show in game 2, and it was a repeat. And I can understand why they would do that. It'll be interesting to see that pregame show before Game 5 because it's 2-2. If you go back to the regular season, Vegas lost to Colorado 2-1 in their last meeting in the regular season, and that game enabled the Avalanche to win the President's Trophy. Vegas only had 15 skaters that night, and they were better, but they just couldn't get it done. They got tired. If you have that, if you look at the last 5 games between these two teams, including that game, Vegas has controlled the play and the shot metrics, everything in 4 of those 5 games. And they have a formula right now that is working against the Avalanche.
If I may interject, Arlen Bruce III's been watching the entire program, and he's in Vancouver, and he says, question, are the arenas in Las Vegas at full capacity for the Knights game? And the answer to that is yes. I mean, I do want to talk hockey, but Gary, was there pushback from any corners on the full capacity? Because when Kelly announced it, it was like, seemed like everybody went nuts in a good way.
Well, anybody that wants to have a vaccine in the state of Nevada has it. So there's really no, if you don't have it, that's your choice. And, you know, I think the numbers are approaching 60% of people are double vaccinated. And that includes children, right? Because, you know, some kids can't get the vaccine, so they chunk of that 40% that don't have it. So, no, there's, I haven't seen any pushback anyways. If you choose to wear a mask, I have to wear a mask when I'm dealing with the public at T-Mobile Arena. That's the NHL protocol. So if you want to wear a mask, you can. No, I don't know why there would be a pushback. Life is if you choose, life can get back to normal here in this state, and I hope very soon in all of Canada. And my niece got married in a backyard on Saturday in Peterborough, Ontario, with only 12 people there. And, you know, obviously they're in a different situation, but we want them to be in the exact same situation so that other people's loved ones can have the kind of wedding that they actually want to have. She'll have a real nice party down the road. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
They actually had a really good time, and we zoomed in and watched it, and it was a nice day.
I certainly didn't want to mar this with COVID talk, but it was a national reporter, and she said that this was irresponsible of the Golden Knights to do this, and I just wanted to scream, "We're over it!" But anyways, hey,
yeah, sure. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and we're not over it. We're getting through it, but. You know, if you don't want to come to the game, if you're worried about COVID and you don't want to come, stay home.
Right.
You know?
Right. So, hey, tell me a little bit about Peter DeBoer, Gary, because after the overtime loss in Game 2, I looked at it exactly the same as him. It's a penalty. Chintzy or not, it's a penalty. And he didn't go after the refs, right? Brenda Moore has, other coaches have, but he didn't. And I like that because it kept composure that the team, I think, feeds off of, right? I mean, he could have lost it, but he didn't. I don't know the man. I've never met him.
He didn't go after the referees. He went after the Avalanche and said,
right.
I don't blame the referee. I feel bad for him because the other team's trying to fool him. And it's interesting. Wes McCauley did Game 3, and Frankie St. Laurent, and they called. It's really simple at this time of the year. You call what everyone can see. You don't reach for a penalty. It's just not. It's not that. I don't think you ever should actually. But in particular, this is when if Vegas loses this series as a result of a poor penalty, or Colorado loses this series as a result of a bad penalty. We're talking about like every gate now is in the range of, depending on how much you charge for your tickets, from $2 to $4 to $5 million, and they increase as you go on. So for owners who had to write checks for $81 million just for player cost in a season when there were no fans for a real big portion of the season. That's a big blow. There's an economic factor to it, not to mention, more importantly, these players play their whole lives and are not getting paid right now. You don't get paid in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're playing to win the greatest trophy in sport. You want to do your job. And listen, it called four penalties against Vegas in the first period of Game 2. They were deserved penalties. And Colorado is built to skate. No team should be allowed to hook and hold them and equalize, and have an inferior team equalize a game or a series through cheating. That's not, if you can't check with your legs right now, you're in trouble. And you should be penalized for that. But, phantom calls in overtime for slashing when the player turns his stick over. Can't have that. And listen, Ghislaine Bear, I bet you he was sick to his stomach when he saw it in real time. In video. And in real time, it's hard. When the player drops his stick, you're like, okay, like that's what they're looking for. When there's stick-on-stick contact, does the stick break or does the player drop his stick? Does he lose his stick? Is the stick knocked out of his hands? That's how I should say it. Is the stick knocked out of his hands? Well, then when you go back and you see the video and you're like, well, that stick should not have been knocked out of his hands, and he suckered me. It might hurt him going forward in terms of getting another round. That's terrible for him. He's an excellent referee. He'd like to be coaching. He'd like to be refereeing in the next round. Well, that gets looked at. All of this adds up. So Macaulay and last night it was Dan O'Rourke and Gordie Dwyer did an excellent job. And I don't think anybody would have a complaint about the officiating last night.
Hey, no, of course not. I got to fire a couple quick ones at you before we go. We got about 3 minutes here. The stat line for Nathan MacKinnon last night was 0, 0, 0, -2. How did the Golden Knights make that happen?
Yeah, there's just a commitment from every player on the Golden Knights right now to, during the regular season, you want to have a good stats line because that's how you get paid in the NHL. For the right teams and for the right group, that gets thrown out the window at this time of the year. And Mark Stone isn't worried about getting a goal and assist. He's worried about making sure Nathan MacKinnon doesn't. And it starts with him, and it goes right through the whole roster. The commitment to check right now from the Golden Knights is tremendous. And
I tell you what. Gary Galley said last night, he's doing color on the Sportsnet broadcast. He said, this rough stuff after the play, the way it's going is Vegas's way. And I love that kind of hockey. That's Ryan Reeves. That's Keegan Kolazar. Mark Stone can play that way if you want. How much of a believer are you in momentum? Because I would think Vegas has it.
Yeah, I don't know if it goes from game to game. I think that Jared Bednar's got some time here to get his team built up and emotionally for this next game. And Pete DeBoer he's got to work on his group and make sure they stay in the same frame of mind that they're in. I believe momentum takes place inside a game. Your fourth line goes out and hems in their top guys and has a good shift. Then you go back to the top of your lineup, and the first line has a good line, and then the second line has a good shift. And all of a sudden, you've spent 2 or 3 or 4 shifts in a row in the offensive zone with the opposition hemmed in playing defense. That's how momentum gets built within a game. But I don't know if it carries from game to game. I think that's. I think you plant a seed in one game, and if you get a chance. You can get that, momentum to restart again. But I expect Colorado to be tremendous out of the gate in Game 5, and I don't think what happened in Game 4 is going to be a factor on that. They're going to be ready to go.
I'm with you on the momentum thing, but if it does, I like the way it's going. Why are CFL players watching and writing it? Sergio Castillo has just given us the eye emoji. A lot of times you text me after our interviews, Gary, and say, you never asked me about the CFL, so I'm not going to allow that to happen today. Do you have any thoughts on the CFL?
I really don't today because I actually haven't been paying very much attention to what's going on. I understand that they're talking about August 5th, and I think that that's a great sign. I think that, if you get the governments across the country are going to allow the teams to open up and have players and have fans in the stands, then there's no reason to not have a season. So I'm excited to hear that. As for the future and what happens next, I'm still pretty convinced that they're working with the folks from Redbird Capital and Dwayne Johnson's group, and we'll see where that goes.
It's interesting to follow for sure, but not as interesting as this series. And I got to tell you, my brother's taken to, for whatever reason, and listening to you call the games on the farm. So I asked if he watched the game. He's like, no, I'm listening to Gary. So you made another fan, Gary. Good luck the rest of the way. I appreciate the visit.
Yeah, and congratulations, 500 episodes. Wow, that's it's interesting. It's 500 episodes for you. And look what you started across the country, right? You've got Hustler doing his thing in Winnipeg, which is very much like this show. Your show's still the slickest. It's that the production value and everything that you guys have done here is second to none. It's tremendous, and I like to tune in when I have a chance or when I see a guest that I think that I should see. And your production team does a great job lining up people. It's you had the number 2 radio show in Canada when I was there, and now and now you have I'd say you and Hustler are neck and neck in this, and there's only going to be more of these. So well done, Rod. It's really nice to see you guys having this success. Thank
you. Thank you, buddy. Very Winnipegish. And I say that in a great way. Gary, thank you, man. Keep in touch. Appreciate it. And thanks for being part of the family. Gary Lawless, a huge part of what we've done here. And it is our 500th episode today, and I love that guy. But I didn't want to say it to him because I didn't want to get too mushy.
I know.
Let's go. Arash Madani joins us next. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Stars, you're dispatched to a scene call. Patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept the mission.
This is why I'm all in.
Mission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Get your early bird tickets by June 24th for a chance to win a truck, trailer, toys, and cash. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it. Let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Moose is here too. It's a very special day. Nice music, guys. It's the 500th episode of the RP Show, and we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of being on national television too, by the way, on Game Plus. That is on July 2nd, Darren. I'll never forget. But I like when our sponsors write in. Ricky Kazama from The Tap is watching. He says, huge congratulations on the big 500. Appreciate the hosts, guests, and the insight. Great entertainment. There has been no, touch wood, breaking news yet today, which is fine because we got enough to talk about. Weekend NHL leftovers, the Titans trading for Julio Jones, which Darren will probably jump into with Arash here. Fallout from Mayweather, Logan Paul, which there really wasn't any fallout. CFL weekend leftovers, and the Jays drop a weekend series to Houston. There's enough to talk about right there. And let's bring in Sportsnet's Arash Madani. He's like another guy that's like family to us for the 500th episode. How you doing today, Arash? Happy Monday.
Happy 500th episode, Roddy, Darren, everybody over there, producer Clark. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we got a full house in the back here, too. We got Ryan, we got Bryn, we got Jordan, all socially distanced. It's a big crew over here, my man. You just heard our topics. Which one of those jumps out to you?
You know what I thought about? I thought about Julio a lot over the weekend. Because if there was a way that Green Bay wanted to appease their quarterback who was holding out, their quarterback who's pissed off because he feels that Green Bay's not putting enough skilled guys around him, enough dynamic impact players around him. Well, Julio Jones was there for the taking. And if the cost was, a second and a third, I don't know how much real good football Julio Jones has left. But for one season, this season, when you hosted the NFC title game, to me, it would make a lot of sense to go get him. The fact that they didn't, I could almost hear Aaron Rodgers saying, see, I told you, this is why I'm pissed off at them.
Oh, amazing. Listen, we got to bring in the resident Titans expert, because it didn't seem, fan anyways. I don't know if you would call yourself an expert. What do you think about that? Do you think Green Bay would have been a better destination? He's a pretty happy guy here today.
Of
right?
course,
Oh,
right?
I bet he's very happy.
Yeah, but the naysayers or the detractors would say Julio's finished, right? But he was on pace, I think, for 1,300 yards last year if he hadn't have been hurt. Is he done, or is he an upgrade? Because he's clearly an upgrade on what they have outside of A.J. Brown.
Yeah, no, he's clearly an upgrade. He's not a number one receiver anymore. He's a number two. But if you can get Julio Jones for 12 of the 17 games this season, that probably keeps you out of the wild card game. And then that just opens things up. Maybe staying out of the wild card game is a bit of a stretch with KC and Buffalo in there. But look, you have a 2,000-yard rusher, and suddenly now you're not one-dimensional. And that's massive. That's massive in an AFC East where Buffalo is, I really believe, poised to take over that conference, even with Patrick Mahomes and company, just because KC is about to hit the reality of, okay, now we have to really pay our quarterback. So Tennessee, to me, is still the number 3 team, but the gap between 1 and 3 has really shrunk, and the AFC is a real arms race right now.
So jumping back to the NFC, as a dyed-in-the-wool Vikings fan, I think you still are and will be forever. How much are you enjoying the squalor in Green Bay? Because I watch ESPN every morning, man. They don't seem to be resolving this, Arash. They don't seem to be.
Right, except we're going to find out real soon if Rodgers doesn't show up to the minicamp. This is where the rubber meets the road, because Mark Murphy, their president, has come out and said, well, there is now kind of division within the fan base. Not everybody's on Aaron's side. Not everybody's on our side. Here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers has no leverage. Aaron Rodgers is either going to show up or he's not going to play football. So that's how, it becomes up to him. Now, what I would love is for Rodgers to be traded around training camp, because as a Vikings fan who doesn't really have a lot of time or regard for anybody in that neighboring state that we don't identify by name, Aaron, how long is it going to take you to learn a new offense, learn a new system, all those kinds of things? I get he's the MVP. I get he's elite. But as a Vikings fan, bring on the Jordan Love era.
Hey, I got to ask you, just to switch gears on the Blue Jays for a second. I mean, 6 games out, entering a new week here. Tampa looks very hot, obviously. Are the expectations too high for the Blue Jays? Because I see people blowing their stack at Charlie Montoyo. For instance, what was it? Taking Manoah out, leaving guys in, whatever. Like, expectations seem pretty high. How are you with that?
Expectations are pretty high. I understand it. You go spend $150 million on George Springer, that's going to do it, although Springer's only played a handful of games. I think what's lost in the social media noise about the bullpen is we are witnessing one of the great seasons for a Blue Jays player in the history of the franchise. Roddy, Darren, Vlad Guerrero is number 1 in almost every offensive category there is in the American League. Home run, RBI, OPS, wins above replacement, slugging. Vlad has put together an incredible start to the season, 2.5 or so months into affairs. Now, there's a lot of baseball left to be played. And he's actually a half-decent first baseman for a guy who's only in his first real full season of playing the position. Nobody's talking about him going back to third base. And when I heard Charlie a couple of weeks ago say, this guy could be a Gold Glover at first base, I'm saying to myself, man, you talk about the evolution of a 22-year-old kid who last July showed up overweight to summer training camp, realized something had to give, apologized to his teammates, said this isn't going to happen again, has dropped almost 50 pounds, and swings are rocket launchers when the ball comes off the bat. It's one of the more remarkable turnarounds and one of the more remarkable seasons we're seeing from any Blue Jay ever.
Well, yeah, and that's why he adorns our desk here every day. We love us some Vladdy since the moment he showed up years ago. But John in Winnipeg says, Arash, why are the Jays so Jekyll and Hyde? Great one day, not so much the next. Pitching, anything specific? Would you go along with that assessment?
Well, yeah, it's baseball. I mean, your different starters are going to do different things. Steven Matz himself is Jekyll and Hyde. One start, he's, he looks to be the Steven Matz of 2015, and then the next start, he's not. Looks like Ross Stripling has kind of turned the corner. I think he was tipping his pitches a little bit. They made a tweak to his delivery. They're hiding the ball a little bit more. But this much is certain. This Blue Jay team, as it's constructed now, will not be the Blue Jay team of August and September. Roddy, I am convinced that the Blue Jays are going to go make some noise in the trade market. Now, I don't know what they're going to go do. I don't know who they're going to go get. It's still very early in that process. The trade deadline's 7 weeks away. But this is a team in an AL East that is up for grabs. The division is not strong. The Yankees are a shell of what they used to be. Boston has a good record. I don't see this being sustainable for the rest of the season. It's not sustainable for 162. And the Blue Jays had a tough schedule to open things up. If they continue to even play 500 baseball or a little bit more, it would not surprise me leading into the deadline if Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro go make moves.
Lastly, I read this June 14th final direction edict from the CFL to the players as a drop-dead date. I don't know if you feel that I've misread that or not. What's your take on the status of the CFL as we sit here delayed into June, as they say we're working towards an August 5th kickoff?
Yeah, I don't believe there's a drop-dead date at all. I think that's the league putting some pressure on the players to say we have to do this and to try and get the players to give in on some of their demands. Roddy, are you telling me that if they can kick the tire down the road until June 21st and start on August 12th, they wouldn't? I don't buy that. So I think their target date is to get something done in the next week. But at no point do I believe that that is an actual drop-dead date. I think it's all part of the negotiation, just like we've seen with CBAs. You can put a line in the sand, but the beauty of the sand is you can then put another line in the sand right beside it. And so I think that's what we're talking about right here.
It's sad for the fans because I talk to them every day being on this yo-yo. Can't imagine what the players and coaches are going through. I mean, they tell me, but I mean, it's worse even than what they say.
The players especially, Roddy, the players especially, the coaches are still being paid. The administrators are still being paid. Now, I get that they've taken pay cuts. Don't get me wrong. But there is at least some money going into their pockets. A handful of guys got signing bonuses from signing, in the off season. But for the most part, the players haven't gotten much of anything. And so those are the people you have to think about. And then how much are they willing to further give up to play a much shortened season? That's another question.
There's a lot of people that think the players won't agree to the pay cuts. I think that they will because they just want to play. We're seeing careers evaporate right in front of our eyes. But everything you've said, and I watch what you say very closely, is that you still do think that they'll play? Like you said, into September. Are you still feeling that way?
Yeah, I never believed that August 5th was the absolute concrete date. From the beginning, I thought that could be delayed a little bit even further down the road. When this was all going on and talking to people across the league, across the federal government, et cetera, I had always thought that a late August, Labor Day-ish start could be on the horizon. I think they're hopeful for August 5th. But I still think there's a capability to play, a capability. Does everybody want to play, Rod? We still have not heard from Toronto. And as much as Montreal has talked around it, are they willing to put the flag down and do it? I'd love to hear the yes. We have from Hamilton, the Tiger Cats obviously are hosting the Grey Cup. There's a lot there. We've heard from Ottawa. We've heard from Rick Lawless in BC. But we haven't heard from everybody. So can they? Yeah. Do I think they will? Yeah. Do I think it'll be August 5th? Around there.
Sounds like
I don't believe in the drop.
Sounds like you've been reading my diary. Are you off this week? You're out in Lake Country or what's shaking?
Yeah, out at a buddy's cottage. It was a bit of a college reunion this weekend. So we actually went out and hit some tennis balls today, Rod. And I will promise you this. It's a lot easier on TV than it is in person.
Well, Dubes would know. He's the big tennis baller, too. Yeah. Go Gators. Arash, thanks for this. Enjoy your week, my friend. Thanks for all you've done helping us get to 500.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. Here's to many more.
Thank you, buddy. Sportsnet's Arash Madani from Lake Country in Ontario. So when we come back, Moose and I, for the rest of the way, we got a sports update, and we'll go full-on viewer takeover. It's the RP show. Are you good? Did you get bit on the weekend?
I'm great. I think I've got a mosquito bite.
I got one up here, too.
Yeah.
They're out. It's that season.
I know.
We'll take it. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full-Service Car Wash. Your car deserves it at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
At Capital GMC, we don't just sell vehicles, we buy them too. You know how we always have such a big inventory with an amazing selection? That's because we buy all makes, all models, and all years. We're going to give you the best price every time. And you don't even have to buy from us. All you have to do is visit us online or in-store, answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll get you a great offer. We'll even cut you a check on the same day. So save yourself the hassles of selling privately and sell it to us. Because at Capital GMC, we'll buy it.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Just before we jump into a sports update here, Daryl, I believe it's Daryl in Toronto. He goes by Beneath Sports Podcast. He writes that, he says, congratulations on the 500th episode. All the hard work you guys put in doesn't get unnoticed. The #1 sports talk show in Canada. How about that? Thank you, Beneath Sport. And thank you, Rick Regan. To the Prairie Mobile text line we go. From Assiniboia. Good morning, Rod and Dupes. And don't forget the whole crew here. Happy 500th show and second birthday. I believe I've not missed a show in the 500, whether it be live, on my iPhone, or radio and travel, so you've certainly consumed part of my life. Keep her going. Congrats to Team Canada. Gallant will certainly be in line for a coaching position somewhere. Jets are almost toast. Other series are proving interesting. Goes on to... Anyway, he says, come on, rain. Let it happen. We got a little sprinkle yesterday. It was very cold rain. Did you get caught in that at all?
No, I didn't.
Very cold, which is fine. You talk about the Jets and the Habs. Actually, I'll read this in the sports update here. That's what Darren and I are going to face off about coming up. So just hang on to your bingo cards. Here it is. The Canadiens have a chance to sweep their second-round NHL playoff matchup versus the Winnipeg Jets. Tonight, it's the second game of a back-to-back at the Bell Center after Montreal won 5-1 Sunday night to go up 3-0. The Habs have not swept a postseason series since 2014 when they eliminated the Lightning in 4. Meanwhile, the Bruins and Islanders square off tonight. They're 2-2. The Isles are coming off a 4-1 win on Friday in which Matthew Barzal scored the game winner in the third. Game 6 returns to New York's Nassau County Coliseum on Wednesday. Did you see the video of Clark Gillies crushing a beer and crushing the can on his head in the rink the other night? Clarky. His bobblehead adorns the desk here every day. He shipped that right up from New York. He thought that our desk was missing something. He is just a god there, eh? You know that.
His bobblehead, the biggest head out of all of them on the desk.
What do you call it? Anatomically correct? Yeah. The Western Hockey League announced today Winnipeg Ice captain Peyton Krebs has won the Bob Clark Trophy as WHL top scorer. The Golden Knights prospect totaled 43 points in 24 games, finding the score sheet in all but one of his outings as he set a new Ice franchise record by recording a 23-game point streak. That kid didn't go quietly. And I would say, Darren, that you and I had the privilege of calling his last ever shift and his last ever game in the dub.
That's right.
It was against the Pats. Obviously, that's why we were doing it.
It was.
God's team.
Unbelievable.
The Regina Pats.
And he stayed on that bench right till the end, even if he couldn't finish.
He was hurt. Yeah, that was sad. It was sad. Alex Bocage scored in double overtime. Nicholas Hurtubise made 48 saves, and the Victoriaville Tigres won the Quebec Major Junior League Championship with a 3-2 win over the Val-d'Or Foreurs on Saturday. We just finally learned how to say Foreurs, and then now the season's over.
Yeah.
Tigres won the best of 7 in 6. The Q started their season around their usual date in October, with Quebec teams staying in the province and Maritime teams strictly playing against each other. The campaign, however, was interrupted several times by COVID outbreaks. The Memmer was canceled in April due to border restrictions around the pandemic. Teams played a maximum of 40 regular season games in the Q, down from the usual 64, but the league managed to crown a champion. And again, it's the Victoriaville Tigres. It's a quiet day in Major League Baseball with just 3 games on tap. The Marlins are in Boston. The Royals face the Angels, and the Cubs take on the Pod Squad. It's an off day for the Blue Jays, who play 13 straight without a day off beginning tomorrow. The sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. And while we talk about our wonderful sponsors, my battery officially died on my Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 this morning.
No.
Right in my hand.
Mid-trim.
90 minutes. Yeah, mid-trim. How about that?
That's tough.
How about that?
I know that makes everybody uncomfortable.
You can feel her slowing down. No.
It just stopped like on a dime. It wasn't the zzz. It was zzz.
Oh.
Headlight went out. Yeah. So I guess my 90 minutes are up, and I got to plug it in now. He's got the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 for men's below-the-waist grooming. I'm just going to point that out. And I'm only bringing that up because they're a tremendous sponsor of our... Put the camera on this kid. Why did you turn red?
Rented myself a hotel room in Saskatoon. Took the Lawnmower 4.0 with me.
Yeah.
Had a night. It was good.
Well, this is interesting.
Yes.
From the Hockey Club podcast in Tallahassee, Florida. Don't forget, Rod, FSU Seminoles softball versus Alabama tonight at 7 Eastern. Go Noles. How did I forget? SEC softball. From Sober Athletic Wear. Hey, RP crew, happy 500th show. How awesome has the Golden Knights and Avalanche series been? I'm still in mourning over my Leafs, but really enjoying the U.S. divisional playoffs. The hockey has been great. Did you see this thing about Marner? Was it you? Clark would be all over it, and you might be, about the social media hate or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mitch, step into my office here. When you don't score for 23 games, or is that Pierre-Luc Dubois? 18, thanks. You're going to have to put up with a little heat. Like, am I way off base on this one? Like, come on, man. Come on. Just getting $11 million a year, and you haven't scored in 18 playoff games, and you're upset you're getting abused a little bit on social media. I gotta swing it back here a little bit. What's the bet? When's Mitch Marner going to score again? Oh, come on, official, our betting partner. How do you feel about Martin? Like, I don't like seeing people get bullied, but sometimes he's not exactly stepping up to the plate here.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like to see it, but don't be surprised. It's not coming out of left field here, right? It's not that it's ever warranted or just, but it's tough, really tough. I mean, you have to expect that. You're going to play in one of the hottest hockey markets in the world. And you're going to play on one of the original 6 franchises that hasn't won a Stanley Cup in so long, and the expectations are sky high, and they've got a history of failure and all of these things. And you want to be one of the highest paid players in the NHL. So that's kind of what comes with the territory, you know?
It comes with the territory.
You want to go work underground in the mine like my brother does and deal with all the dust. You get a little danger pay. You get paid a little more to deal with that danger. And you get paid $11 million, not just to play hockey, but with everything else that goes around it. The expectation that you need to be training in your off time and that you're not going to have as much family time as normally would with the travel. And you got to deal with being in the public eye. You're getting paid for all of that. So that's all. That all comes with the territory.
That's all I'm saying. Just score, Mitch, and you'd be surprised how little heat you're going to get. And lastly here, Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I bet that the Spruce Grove Saints are God's team. Why, because they sent me a free shirt? No. But John in Winnipeg says, Rod, is that a Grey Cup ring? Well, up until 2019, I would have said, yes, I know you don't see many of these in Winnipeg. But I dug it out because we had, from the Hockey Hall of Fame, Phil Pritchard in hour one, talking about the Stanley Cup and the Dallas Stars, and my dad won a championship with them. I'm like, you know what? I feel like putting my ring on today.
Yeah. You don't wear it often.
Very rarely do I wear it, but yeah, apparently it looks very big on television. That's what they're saying when the light catches it. That's what it is, John. Face Off when we come back and more viewer takeover. You're watching the RP show on Game Plus TV and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445. In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. It's overtime. For a lot of people, it's their favorite. It's their favorite segment. I'm getting some kicks out of the comments from people here. Listen, I love the fact that we now have the relationship with Winnipeg, that we can kibitz back and forth. See the joke I made about, they were asking about my Grey Cup ring. And who was it? Tacona Powley says, "Hey, Rod, we own the last ring. Now we can have some fun with it, right? Like, you haven't been able to do a sports banquet in how long? Feels like a decade. But, when I was voice of the Riders, used to open up those banquets. What do you call somebody with a Hamilton? What do you call somebody with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers Grey Cup ring?
I don't know.
A senior citizen. Wally Buono and Dave Ritchie jump off a building. Who lands first? Who cares?
How about that?
Who cares? All those great old CFL jokes.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Am I making you uncomfortable?
No, I like it. We used to do that stuff with Winnipeg all the time. Now that they've won,
now they can laugh. Yeah, we're right. Now they can participate.
Now they can participate. They don't just have to sit there and take it. Now they can.
What do you call a Hamilton Tiger Cat with a Grey Cup ring? A thief.
A little slow on the trigger.
Yeah,
back there.
What are you guys doing back there? Having a party? There's like 4 of them back there. We were going to face off, right?
Yeah.
From Habs for Life in Vancouver. Rod, will you be at a CFL game in week 1? Yeah. I'd like to be in Vancouver. Remember, the Lions invited us out.
That's right.
So
we'll go.
Just get on the field. So listen, we only got a few minutes left. Let's face off here for the Ultimate Fan Zone in the Mad Greek Restaurant, which, by the way, droves of people going to Moose Jaw for Vegas Golden Knights merchandise at the Ultimate Fan Zone. That's a fact.
Yes.
The question is, does the series end tonight? The Montreal Canadiens or Winnipeg Jets in the Bell Center? And I'm going to tell you, the Winnipeg Jets know that they got Scheifele coming back for Game 5. They're going to do it without him tonight. Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to snap the streak, and they're going to go balls to the wall tonight against Montreal and extend this series and send it back to Winnipeg. And you can take that to the bank. How about you, Moose?
It's funny. We talked about this. I want to flip. I kind of want to agree with you because Brady's making it real hard to like the Montreal Canadiens right now.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think the Montreal Canadiens can absolutely end it tonight. And it's not, because they're just so much better than Winnipeg. They've got something on their side, whether it's destiny, whether it's magic, whether it's karma. I don't know what it is. But they've got something special right now. Carey Price is a big part of that for sure because they're not lighting the world on fire offensively, but they've got something special going on, and I believe in that. I like to believe in things, and I think Montreal's got something special happening. So I think they could end it tonight.
We'll see, huh?
Yeah, we'll
be watching. The Face-Off is brought to you by the Ultimate Fan Zone. Now just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram, UFC, downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic. And brought to you by the Mad Greek in Moose Jaw. The patio is now open. I didn't know they had a patio.
How about that?
Open for licensed dining at the Mad Greek in Moose Jaw. Visit them today, right downtown on Main Street in beautiful Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. I actually won a face-off a while back, and you know what I'm going to say? Julio Jones came out over the weekend and said he didn't know he was on live television when he was talking to Shannon Sharpe. Is it Shannon Sharpe or Sterling Sharpe? Shannon Sharpe on FS1's Undisputed, where he spilled the beans that he wanted out of Atlanta. He says he didn't know. We faced off on that a couple weeks ago, and you felt that he did. And it's not like I'm throwing you under the bus here, but how do the tracks feel?
Smashed.
Wow.
But you know what?
He admitted that he didn't know, and you thought that he did know, that it was all set up.
For sure, and just from the business of it, and this comes out, I would imagine that Shannon Sharpe has had a closed-door meeting with an executive at Fox Sports since that news has come out.
What's the follow-up on it? I heard he's in a lot of trouble.
There's going to be some trouble. I can't imagine if there'd be trouble because, you assume that Julio knew. And he would have said no. Like, I told him we were going to do an interview. I told him we were going to get him on the air. And he said he would. So this comes out. Now, all of a sudden, Fox Sports or that show might have trouble getting guests. They might have trouble with relationships with teams, especially Atlanta. I don't know. It's not a good situation. I wouldn't want to be in the room. But Shannon's going to have to answer for it.
But you've done enough talk shows. You can see now where he's like, Julio, what's going on?
Well, we've said it. Your phone rings on the air. Answer it, Rod. Answer. Put him on the air.
But I did it on my old show. Hey, just so you know, we're on the air right now. It's the first thing you say.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was expecting the guy to say, I want out. I thought he would swear. That was the biggest reason. But the thing is, from Julio Jones' perspective, he's now traded to the Titans. I got to think he's sitting there going, who really cares? I want it out anyways. Now the world knows.
Now the world knows. I'm where I want to be. I'm happy. Life's good. Nashville, A.J. Brown. Let's go. Let's do something special.
Well, and here's the thing. Habs for Life, one of the viewers in Vancouver says, Shannon broke the code. Fire him. He might get fired, but I would suggest that they're just going, well, it all turned out nice anyways.
We'll see what happens.
As Cactus Jack Wells used to say.
With other players, right? Will other players not go on the show? Does Shannon lose a little bit of that cred? He played the game. He's got a lot of cred, so he probably has enough to get over something like this, but it's not a good one.
Well, my point is the only person that's probably would be mad at him is Julio Jones, and he's probably not that mad at him because he ended up getting what he wanted anyways.
Yeah.
This was the triggering effect, of the trade. So, tomorrow, Hockey Hall of Famer Clark Gillies. Nice work, Clark. The man for whom producer Clark is named. We got Hoop Life's Andrew Gottselig and more. Thanks for a great day, Moose.
Thank you. Happy 500.
We'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern here on Game Plus Television. McFly, hello.